So some of you who have been watching my Instagram stories probably know that my mother is here visiting me in Abu Dhabi. She's been here for 3 weeks, and one of my favorite parts of her being here with me in Abu Dhabi has been introducing her to all of my friends and colleagues and people here in Abu Dhabi. So today, what I thought I would do is introduce her to you guys, to the followers, because I like to think of you guys as my friends and talk to you as if you're my friends. So what I did is I went on Instagram and I did an Ask Me Anything for my mom. So I got a lot of responses. So I'm just going to read through these and ask you the questions. So
wish me luck.
So are you ready?
Yes.
What was your favorite trip with Sal?
The most culturally new one for me was going to Nairobi when he was working there for 6 months. I got to be there for 3 weeks, and that was so different and so wonderful. And then all the children, all the family road trips we took, we had some pretty good time. Yeah, so those were good.
What was your favorite restaurant in the UAE?
Wherever, I love camel. And so wherever we had camel, it's so yummy.
Also, she hasn't seen these questions. I also haven't seen these questions, so this is on the fly. How many countries have you been to?
You know what? I think I used to count the UK as more than one, which probably wasn't right, but let's say 20 or so nothing close to being a world traveler.
How did you feel when you found out your son converted to Islam?
I was happy for him. I love that he was on a spiritual journey, and I know it continues just like in all of us. So it was wonderful.
What did you say when Sal wanted to travel for the first time, and when he wanted to go stay in the UAE?
Oh, the UAE, that was fine because that was as a study abroad when he was at NYU. But I remember his first trip alone, which was to Africa when he had his trail of seeds. And my husband, I'm going to cry, had to pull me away from the airport gate because and that was the time we didn't see him like for 18 months. So and I knew that somehow as a mom, that was tough. So.
What's the most scared you've been while your son's been traveling?
When he was in Yemen, I think. And then what was when you went across the border?
Oh, in Burkina Faso.
Yeah, and I got this weird phone call, so I knew it was like a scam thing, but it was from that area. So yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
When Sal was a kid, did you expect him to visit every country in the future?
No, but I knew he would be a world traveler. We didn't think about visiting every country in the world, but as a little boy, he loved the flags of the world. And as an 11-year-old, he requested, what was it, a 2-volume
all the language
ethnography.
The ethnologue.
Yeah, so kind of, those are big hints.
I was always interested in the world.
Yes, very much so.
And when we grew up, we went to like 40-something of the states, all the family.
That was all by car.
A lot of people are asking about the conversion to Islam.
Okay.
What is your reaction when his son expressed his intention, blah, blah. Anything worth having? Well, some people aren't asking questions. Can I date your son?
Hey, that's up to my son, not up to me.
How proud are you of your son?
Oh. I'm so proud of this guy. And my daughters too, and my grandchildren. I love being a mom. And it's easy with the children I have.
What's your mom's favorite country?
Oh, gosh. Growing up, I went back and forth to Germany, and then one time my father, who was a professor, took students for 6 months, and I loved Switzerland because we got to drive through there and on going from Germany to Vienna, and that was nice. But now I love all countries. I'm kind of like him. I'm very curious and enjoy learning more and more.
And what's your favorite city?
You know what? My husband, who's Italian, and I'm German, we have this little thing, but I love Rome. Rome's pretty cool.
And your favorite food?
You can see I like food. But no, again, too many to choose from. I love all types and all fruits, vegetables, meats, everything.
What was your feeling when I told you that I planned to travel to all the countries in the world?
Well, you were already at over 100, weren't you? So it wasn't something he had planned to do from day one. So it was a very natural transition, and we wished him well. And then, sometimes at night I was praying he was safe. So.
Another Islam question. Why are you leaving Abu Dhabi?
Because I have to go back home to Indiana and my husband. And
what are your thoughts on Islam?
My husband has read the Quran, and that's what's so cool about that. And I have not, though. So I don't feel I can really give a good opinion since I don't know it well enough. But it sounds like, from what Sal has told me, a very peaceful religion, which I like.
What did you do to become an ideal mom for your son?
I love curiosity. I love imagination and being open all the time. You never close the doors. And I never wanted to clip the wings of my children. That I thought would be horrible. I didn't expect him to move across the world, but he did, and it's fine, and it's wonderful, and I love this country too, so it's okay. It worked out well.
How was Sal as a kid?
He was a good kid. He was a very good kid, but he wasn't the...
And a good adult.
Yeah, you are. And but he was a regular kid too. The funny thing, I think, is when people would say, "Oh, is he a genius?" It's like, I don't know. And then his kindergarten teacher told me one time, and she became later the principal of the school, she goes, "I can't wait to see what Sal does with his life." So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
What were his inspirations as a kid?
Well, you have to ask him. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I always liked learning.
Yeah, and I think also our families, my husband and I, we both come from very close families, and Italian and German, and I have a feeling that sort of inspired you a little bit too.
What's your dream for your son?
To be happy and I was not going to wood, and just to do well for the world, to help the world become a better place.
Inshallah. How does it feel having a son that traveled the world and then in capital letters without you?
Well, without me was fine, and I've gotten some wonderful trips because of him, but no, it was good. It just happened so gradually, and we were always supportive, his sisters and everyone, so.
How do you like Abu Dhabi?
I really like Abu Dhabi. Now how many Emirates did we go to? We took a couple road trips.
6.
And I can't wait to learn more and more about it. So yeah, I plan more trips here.
Were you concerned or worried when Sal was in the level 4 do not travel country?
Yes. Yes. But I wasn't going to say don't go, because I trust in all my children, and so I had to trust, period.
Would you move to the UAE?
That would depend on a lot of things. So my husband still works, so I can see maybe having an apartment here or something, if that's allowed. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your favorite country to visit?
I don't have a favorite. I really don't. So.
Do you love traveling?
I love traveling.
Any tips on fostering curiosity in her kids?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I love being a kid, and so it was very natural in me, and so I think that just spilled over into my children. You can't fake it, but I love playing and I love telling stories, so all those things, that's just what I enjoy doing, so I think.
Am I your favorite son?
Yes, he's my favorite son because I have 2 daughters.
What was Sal like growing up besides happy?
Yeah, just a regular kid. I mean, what do you think? He loved running around and playing with his sister and playing with friends and swimming, and then as he got older, tennis, and yeah, just...
What would have been your son's name if he was born a girl?
Sophia.
Oh, interesting. What are you most proud of about your son, Sal?
Gosh, that list is long, actually, but... See, I get all sentimental. Just that he's being Sal Lavallo. I always said, you're Sal Lavallo, so, you know, that's means something, and that holds responsibilities, and he's pretty good at it.
Somebody said, don't want to ask anything, I just want to say, may God always bless and protect your mom. How does it feel to have a son like Sal?
Molly's the only son I've got, so I guess that's, it's pretty special though. I admit it's pretty special. And all of you, I mean, of course I read comments and things like that, and that just, suddenly the world is a part of his life, and I love that. Thank you too.
Besides your son, what was your favorite thing you saw in Abu Dhabi?
The mosque is unbelievable. That thing is pretty amazing, so yeah.
Would you rather live in the UAE or the USA?
I'd probably the USA.
What are some things that annoy you about Sal?
Well, let's see. I bet his sisters would have some answers. I would say sometimes when he thinks, you know, stubborn. I think a little bit stubborn, you know, it's like, no. And usually the problem, which is so aggravating, is he's often right. So.
Would you ever get Sal an arranged marriage the UAE way?
Probably not, since that's not our upbringing, but, you know, hey, if you...
Someone else asked about dangerous countries.
Yeah,
what was the
scary.
best place you stayed in, I guess, in Abu Dhabi?
What was, you can tell us.
The resorts, I guess.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you once have the same deep passion for adventure to all corners of the world like Sal?
I loved traveling. I loved flying. So yes, but I can't say I ever thought, oh, I need to go to every single country, but I wanted to go around the world several times.
Did you get worried when I went to Yemen, North Korea, and Libya?
The Yemen, Libya not so much, because isn't that where it took a while to get in?
Yeah.
And then, but the North Korea, since he was with a tour, that made it less. Yeah, and he was with a friend. It's the solo travel, and when I know he's just out there, and that's...
How's it being so far away from your son?
Again, I wasn't going to clip the wings of my children, so it's what I know, and that's okay.
Somebody else, a lot of people are asking how you reacted when I became Muslim. Do you want to expand on that anymore?
It was fun. You know, it wasn't surprising either, because I love talking about my spirituality with my kids, all the questions I had. So again, I feel like it's an evolution and it's continuing. I don't compartmentalize religions, and I don't think one's evil and one's the best one, which, you know, may not be, whatever, but yeah.
Do you think your son chose the path you wanted on his life?
It's the path that he was supposed to take. It's not my choice.
Tawakkaltu ala Allah. We're in God's hand. How would you describe your relationship with your son?
Well, I like it. I love it. I'm proud of him. Now you have to see what he says. I'm sure I'm obnoxious.
It's your question time. When did you first think when your son wanted to travel to each country?
Again, it was in the middle of being at over 100. Remember, he went to the boarding school through visiting friends, through college, and then when he got the job, it was, you know...
Never happened. I never said I'm going to go and finish.
So it was a...
So other people are asking about being scared. What is the best thing you know about your son?
The best thing that you know what? Okay, I'll tell you. Well, no, it's good. The neat thing about Sal is he's very intelligent. He's very curious. He got an amazing work ethic from his father, and he has these ideas, but then he puts them into reality, and that's a pretty awesome combination. So, yeah, I mean, and it's true.
Which is why I'm so humble. A lot more questions about Islam, like 4 in a row. Best and worst moments for you of Sal's visiting every country.
The Yemen one. Now remember though.
I told you after.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Often it was, this is what happened, but it's weird as a mom. Sometimes I was like, oh my God, I'm so worried right now. And that's when the worst things were happening to him, I swear. And that was weird. Best? And the best was Malta.
My finale, last country.
That was so cool. We got to share that.
A lot of like being scared and stuff, and proud. Someone just said, tell your son to have dinner every night. I don't know why. It says, what is her advice for my mom as I'm still single and in my late 30s?
Advice to that person's mom? to you know what? Parenting an adult is not the same as parenting a child. And so tell your mom and you to work on that relationship, that parent-child-adult relationship. That's important.
Someone said, no question, just want to say you raised an amazing young man.
Thank you very much.
Another USA versus UAE question you already answered. How many countries have you been to? How do you... another conversion. Someone said, who's your favorite child?
I love them equally, but in different ways. I have great kids. Trust me, they're just really cool.
3 more Islam questions. What would you think someone moving to the U.S. for school needs to know?
Well, it depends from where you're moving, I guess. But also, just like, again, Sal, he's good at preparing for trips and things, so I would highly recommend researching a lot, and you know, the internet's great for that. And just be prepared for, you know, different ways. Doesn't mean they're better or worse, but different. So that's, I think, the world.
What was the highlight of your visit aside from seeing Sal?
I think traveling a little. We came 6 years ago, my husband and we stayed within Dubai and then Abu Dhabi, but this time we took 2 road trips, and so I enjoyed seeing more of the country.
What has your mom inspired you most?
That's your question.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing. I loved meeting his friends. You were really good about introducing me to his colleagues, to friends, and they're all awesome people. So I'm so happy he surrounds himself with good people. That's a good thing for him.
Have you been on any trips with Sal while he's been visiting every country?
Well, Malta, except the new ones.
Malta,
really. And with your
Italy,
dad.
Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but that wasn't the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't my first time.
So it's only, and he arrived in Malta before we got there, so I guess Canada.
And do you miss your husband?
Of course I miss my husband. We've been texting together, so
he's the one who asked the question. Someone else asked about who's the favorite child. Why do you not live with Sal in the UAE?
Because I have a life in Evansville, Indiana.
Before she visited, was she expecting something more than just cosmopolitan cities?
Before visiting UAE,
yeah.
You mean? I kind of don't come with expectations too much, and then Sal is an amazing host, I will say that. And so I just sort of went where he took me, and
would you visit the UAE again?
Yes, you know what? I'm planning on doing more often.
Inshallah. What was your favorite place in the UAE, and where would you recommend tourists to go?
Well, the mosque from 6 years ago, we didn't go this time. That's just...
The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque.
beautiful. And the cool thing is, what is it, the phases of the moon?
It's lit at night by the phase of the moon. So when it's a full moon, it's fully lit. When it's a new moon, it's dark.
Right. So that's really cool. And then the architecture here it blows your mind. Like, he works in a building that's the most leaning tower in the world, and that's cool. And the people are so kind, and the food is great. I mean, there's no complaints.
Any childhood memory of Sal that makes you cry?
Don't get me started. So he was, I can't talk. I remember squeaky clean. We got it on video when he was a little boy and he was in the bathtub and he goes, "Mommy, mommy, look, I'm squeaky clean." And that makes me happy.
Are you proud of your child, or is he a failure?
Really? You're asking me that question?
What was your favorite thing about Dubai?
Actually, we went to his friend's apartment, and the Burj Khalifa was like her apartment, and there were 3 big windows. In the middle of the window, there it was, all lit up in its glory at night, and that was pretty awesome. Dubai's cool.
Someone just said you have done a fab job with your son.
Thank you very much.
A lot more questions about the Muslims.
Yeah, I mean, do you think I need to learn more? Or, I mean, that's my journey, right?
Did he turn out how you imagined him to be when he was younger?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I always just wanted my children to be happy and to have a positive influence on the world, and to be loving, and so I think they all do that in their special ways.
And the last one says, "Can I marry your son?"
Well, that's up to my son.
So that was a lot of questions. There's so many of you asked about Islam, so she answered that a few times, and I didn't read the other ones. But I hope that you enjoyed that. Meeting my mother is fun to hear answers to that. So I hope you understand me a little bit more now through my beautiful mother. And so comment down below. I'll answer any more questions, and subscribe. And I hope that everybody will travel safely.
And thank you.